welcome back. And now that you have gotten your sample, you have evaluated your samples and made the possible modification or design with your supplier, let's talk about managing your projects. My name is Mark Hong. I'm the founder of markhong.com. So in order for you to manage your projects and most efficiently, there are a few things that you have to keep in mind. All right, so let's talk about having the right mindset. Okay, so now, first of all, don't rush into the project. Okay, so until it is done correctly, until you know that they have understood all your instructions, don't rush into it and don't assume. Especially when you are first getting started with a new supplier, it takes some time to build that mutual synergy where the supplier will understand you much quicker. So don't get frustrated either. Okay, it is more likely that you will run into some bumps in the beginning. Okay, but if you persist and work through it, okay, then it will become much easier. Okay, make sure that you leave no room for guesswork. All right, this is where most people fail. Okay, they assume that the supplier understand them and they think, okay, yeah, they say they got it. Okay, they can do such modification, and it's all done, right? Well, most likely it will not be. Okay, so make sure that you go back and forth and make sure that you can evaluate and that you know exactly, right? That's how you start your project. Okay, now another thing is manufacturers are terrible at creativity. Okay, I can tell you all the horror stories that I had with manufacturer where initially I send them all the drawing, I send them all the design work, and then they say, yeah, no problem, we'll do exactly like that. And then I receive a sample that is that was some factory worker that decided to be creative. Okay, that they thought that something would look better. Okay, and then end up wasting time on creating a mold, a tool, right? And wasting time going back and forth, having to go back and fix it. Okay, so give them no room to become creative. That's the worst thing you can do. All right, and don't leave anything up to the factory to decide. Okay, you want to make sure that you make the decision, right? You're very firm on your decision and say, this is how I want it done, all right? And don't deviate from that, okay? So have everything laid out in front of them and say, follow exactly, this is what I need to be done, all right? And now, you also want to make some inquiries, right, to manage your project. So, just like any project, when you're managing a project, you will have different timeline. So you want to inquire about the time from the product is being ordered till the time it's being shipped, right? Which stage they will do what? They will, first get, the raw material from the supplier, how many days that will take, and then, when the production can start, right? Assign your own shipping agency and don't use the factory shipping agencies. Okay, I know a lot of time people think, well, that probably save you time, but in the overall scheme of things, you want to have as much control as possible within your own company with yourself, so you don't get delays, you don't get preferential treatment, or if they prefer someone else, they bump your order somewhere else and things like that. So have as much control as possible about your own shipping, your own production, okay? And also, right, you want to do this ahead of time, okay? You want to learn about their payment terms, okay? You want to know, right, at which stage of the production how much payment you give them, right? Usually a 30% deposit, 50% deposit. It depends. Okay, depends what the supplier wants. Okay, but 30 to 50, that's usually how most of the supplier work. Okay, you want to inquire about that, right? And as you build a relationship, some will allow you to pay with a more with a better term and things like that. Okay, and you always want to demand that you are allowed to send your third-party inspection, and that could be sent based on schedule time, okay, or unscheduled, right? Where you just say, okay, between your working hours, these are the few days that my inspector might be available, okay, and they are going to show up at any time. All right, keep them on their toes, okay, and and you want to consider negotiating price at this point. Okay, now that you have already talked to them and you have already um, established some good communication, okay, they know you are serious, you are working. Now is a good time to consider negotiating some prices. Okay, so one last thing. Okay, let's talk about Chinese holidays, because when you are planning, this can really affect your timeline. Okay, now Chinese holiday is kind of unique because most of the workers in China at the factories, they come from all over China, and the transportation is it's not as convenient as if you were in the States. You have very most people probably drive. Most people, have higher income, so they can afford more expensive forms of transportation, right? And or they live nearby. But for most of Chinese worker, they really, live at the factory and they come from all over China. So whenever they take a holiday, they usually are very long. So they take long holidays, and plus the factory worker take a long time to travel back and forth between home and factory. So, take for example like Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year, right? Usually the vacation time is for roughly around a week to 9 days or something like that. Okay, but it will take the factory worker 3 to 4 days to get home, all right, and come back, right? So they usually extend it a little bit longer. So normally during the month of February, you can probably very much expect nothing to happen, okay, because people are just traveling and they're going back to their home. All right, so Lunar New Year, okay, every year is a little bit different. End of January to somewhere mid or end of February, something like that. So you have to check on that, right? Make sure you are prepared. Okay, another one is Labor Day. Okay, now Chinese government, the communist government, is built on blue collar labor workers. Okay, so they take it very seriously. So it's usually 3 days to a week, okay, time off. So during that time, a lot of things might not happen as well. So if you are in a rush to have something done, before May, then definitely you want to, or during the month of May, then definitely you want to get that done, before end of April. Okay, and the third big holiday in China is the Mid-Autumn Festival. Okay, that usually is around September. Okay, and this is another occasion that where for most Chinese is family gathering time. So you can also expect another week to 2 weeks off with the factory as well. Okay, and lastly, Ancestor Day. Okay, that's also another major holiday that happens. I believe is somewhere around April. Okay, you know, and this is where you know, you can expect another 3 or 4 days off for your factory. Okay, so plan ahead of the time and manage your projects, okay, according to time, okay, according to speed, and according to communication. Okay, so that's it for this video. Okay, and I will see you on the next video.